Welcome to the KCRG-TV9 50th Anniversary Special, brought to you by Allen Motor Company, Blair Ridge Dental, and the Billiard and Spa Gallery at Brancini's Flooring.
Welcome to KCRG-TV9, 50 years of weather.
We're excited to be sharing the last 50 years of weather history with you and taking a glimpse into the future.
Here's our first radar, the WR100. As you can see, the setup is much different now with the help of new technology.
We'll reminisce with some former KCRG-TV9 meteorologists. We'll talk about several big weather events that shaped Iowa history. And of course, we'll celebrate 50 years of bringing weather to you.
I remember when I first came to KCRG-TV9, our weather forecasting was produced on a plexiglass board with an Iowa and United States map similar to this one. Now, if I wanted to add some temperatures, I would simply draw them on with my grease marker here, write them right next to the cities. Kind of fancy stuff, huh? Or if I wanted to add a high or low or cold front, what have you, I would just add that blue line, and that's the way it was done, folks. Now, believe it or not, I haven't always been the meteorologist at KCRG-TV9. I have many predecessors, including Wayne Winston, Ed Ring, and even Dexter David Donovan III. He was a rabbit, or what appeared to be a rabbit.
We did have a rabbit.
Talk a little bit about
That was Dexter David Donovan III.
Herb Shoemaker.
Does the weather, and he was a puppet. He had a little puppet on his hand.
The station thought the puppet would add some entertainment to weather. Well, times have changed. When I arrived at KCRG-TV9 in the fall of 1974, we were still broadcasting from the cramped quarters of the Miller Building, but things were looking up. By the spring of 1975, we moved into our new building at the corner of 2nd Avenue and 5th Street Southeast in Cedar Rapids. And waiting for us was what represented our first step into the modern era of weathercasting, WR100 radar, our own radar. And boy, were we proud of that.
TV9's WR100 radar has a tilting antenna and a wide 250-mile range that sees the height of clouds and weather fronts as far away as Omaha. But that means nothing unless you can assemble WR's findings into a weather report you can understand. To eastern Iowans, especially during the severe weather and tornado season, it's a matter of livelihoods and lives. That's when the other members of the TV9 Eyewitness Weather Team enter the scene. Meteorologist Ed Ring, with a master's degree in meteorology from the University of Wisconsin, compiles information from WR100 and data from various national weather services. What he sees is what you'll get from on-air weather reporters Denny Frary and Sandy James on TV9 Eyewitness News, noon, 6 and 10.
Still, most weathercasting still had much the same look as we moved through the 1970s.
This high right now is centered in South Carolina, and of course, everybody in advance of this got cold again, no areas of precipitation. And looking at today's weather, just enjoy those for a while into the 40s and 50s and early morning lows in the teens. Waterloo got to 57 degrees just 1 year ago today, 1976, so that was a record for them. They didn't miss it by much getting to 54 today, but look at this. Everybody, well, most everybody into the 40s today, and some places out here in the west were up into the mid-50s, and that was something.
It's been a fairly... But by the 1980s, computer graphics had arrived, and we could tell the weather story in a much more effective way. Southern Minnesota catching it good right now, as well as the eastern half of South Dakota, and then all the way down in through Kansas. Today, with all the latest technology, our goals remain the same: to give you the best weathercast we can, accurate and understandable. We're proud of our past, but very excited about the future. The look of weather forecasting has dramatically changed over the last 50 years, and many of you have probably watched the technological changes right along with us.
And because of that technology, the First Alert Storm Team can deliver better information about snowstorms and severe weather through our forecasts. Record lows, 2 degrees in Cedar Rapids in 1925, 6 in Waterloo. This is how the weather looks every day here at TV9. After 50 years, we've given up the hand-drawn maps, the markers, and magnetic symbols for 3D computer-generated graphics and animations. Now, in order to utilize computer graphics, a system called chroma key needs to be used. Now, it may appear that there is a map or graphic behind us when we do the weather. In fact, I can touch it and knock on it. But guess what? There's nothing but a blue wall behind us when we do the weather. So you ask, how are we able to see where to move and where to point? Well, we have monitors on our left and monitors on our right. And if I look directly into the camera, I see exactly what you see at home. Myself doing the weather with a map behind me. Computer graphics have been with TV9 since 1982, when a Live Line 3 animation system debuted. In 1990, that system was upgraded again, and in 1996, we went on air with our current SGI-02 Genesis system. Now, computer graphics are only one of the many ways that TV9 brings you the weather each day. The biggest and best tool we use is TV9's First Alert Pinpoint Doppler Radar. TV9 began with radar in 1975 with WR100. In the spring of 1994, we brought online a new 250,000-watt Doppler radar. This allows the First Alert Storm Team the ability to track a storm by looking at rainfall and snowfall rates, and also to dissect a storm by looking inside at the winds. The technological improvements, however, did not stop there. January of 1995, TV9 introduced Eastern Iowa to Pinpoint Doppler radar. It was during an ice storm that viewers were now able to see where the freezing rain was falling right down to their street. One other advance during the past 50 years is TV9's First Alert Lightning Tracker. It allows viewers to see lightning strikes from the cloud to the ground across the United States. In 1998, KCRG showed a major advance in weather forecasting by introducing TV9's Pinpoint Futurecast. This is a computer model of the atmosphere that allows the TV9 Storm Team the ability to pinpoint forecast conditions up to 60 hours into the future. Throughout the years, KCRG-TV9 has led the way in weather technology, and we plan to continue. Stay with TV9 for a major announcement on the next weather advancement headed into eastern Iowa. Danny, it's really amazing to see the changes over the years.
Oh, it sure is, and the future looks even brighter. As a matter of fact, we're always looking for new ways to get information to you, the viewer. We currently get our forecast out to you not only by television, but by radio.
Here's your pinpoint accurate weather forecast straight from the TV9 Weather Lab.
The Gazette, the KCRG-TV9 webcast.
Continue probably the next 48 hours or so before it all begins.
And we are also dedicated to educating school children about weather safety with the TV9 Storm Team Weather Academy. Contact the Storm Team to find out how to bring the Weather Academy to your school.
Hello, I'm Jim Guy.
I'm Mike LaPointe.
And I'm Rob Cook.
From our weather lab to yours.
Congratulations, KCRG-TV9.
On being locally owned and operated for 50 years.
Seen tornadoes and seen the aftermath of some tornadoes, but never like this with trees busted everywhere.
We still have moments, especially when we see pictures and stuff, it brings us back to those few seconds when it was so violent.
I saw the black cloud and I saw her running, and she was just a few yards in front of the tornado, and she's kind of being blown up and down as she ran. She'd bounced through the air, and I remember reaching out and grabbed her hand as she flew by.
When you think of severe weather, the backdrop of the KCRG-TV9 Weather Lab may come to mind.
Over the years, technology has changed how we track storms and how we communicate with you, the viewer. In May of 1968, deadly tornadoes ripped across northeast Iowa. In those days, people had little time to prepare. The outcome may have been much different if they had today's technology.
Not going to happen tonight.
Television.
Clouds, some rain, some wind and thunder.
Radio.
I checked my dad's forecast too.
Computers.
Getting information about the weather in this day and age is almost too easy. Imagine if we didn't have these informative tools at our grasp.
It was a kind of a gray sky with some very dark areas in the sky.
May 15th, 1968. Disaster strikes. F5 tornadoes with winds over 261 miles per hour caused the deaths of 18 people in northeast Iowa. Owine took a direct hit on that day.
I went out, picked up some hail, came back in, and as I came back in, I looked back and I saw a number of citizens running by. I could see that there was debris in the air, and indeed the tornado was already in the city limits and was kind of headed our direction.
Owine Fire Chief and TV9 weather spotter Wallace Rundle says severe weather hit the area in 1968 with little warning.
I immediately ran to a push button and a mechanical switch, and I turned the siren on. The siren got up to full pitch for about 15 seconds, and then we lost power. That was the only notification that came officially through the city.
Let's fast forward. We have just been issued a tornado warning. This has been put out for Benton County. July 20th, 2003. 4 tornadoes develop over eastern Iowa. Unlike 1968, this time people had plenty of warning.
Take a look around the Shellsburg area over towards Center Point right now.
Despite all the destruction, everyone survived.
We were watching the news and seeing that the storm was coming and heard that there was a possible tornado.
Window blew in, and as we're going down the basement, the ceiling is collapsing on us, and flight fixture fell and hit my wife on the head. Fortunately, it was plastic and it didn't hurt her.
We are dedicated at KCRG-TV9 to being Eastern Iowa's leader in extensive severe weather coverage. The night of July 20th, we stayed on the air for nearly 4 straight hours, keeping you up to date with TV9's live First Alert Pinpoint Doppler radar, Eastern Iowa's most powerful live television radar that uses 250,000 watts of power. You were able to watch us track the tornadoes as we provided important information from the National Weather Service and Emergency Management. I asked Chief Rundle to imagine the evening of May 15th, 1968 with the technology we have today.
I think it would be very possible we would have 0 loss of life.
And when severe weather strikes again in eastern Iowa, you can count on your KCRG-TV9 First Alert Storm Team to stop at nothing to bring you complete coverage.
And when I think of complete coverage, Newscopter 9 definitely has been a big part of our success. Captain Bobby Ratliff will take us on a tour of his helicopter in the day he encountered an F3 tornado in Washington County.
Hi, I'm former TV9 meteorologist Scott Lynn. Congratulations, KCRG-TV9 News, on 50 years of providing local weather and news throughout eastern Iowa.
Hi, I'm former TV9 meteorologist Dave Town. Congratulations, KCRG-TV9 News, on 50 years of providing local weather and news throughout eastern Iowa.
Like that where
it's on the ground. I
exactly.
see it.
He sees it. He sees it right now. Bobby Ratliff sees the tornado. Bobby, take it away.
May 15th, 1998 dramatically changed KCRG-TV9's weather coverage. It was the first time Newscopter 9 captured a tornado live on the air. KCRG-TV9's ability to provide local weather coverage is an ability that started 10 years ago. Now I want to take you on a tour of actually what is going on inside the helicopter during our live coverage. Think of Newscopter 9 as a really small television studio. Look around. 2 television monitors to watch myself and aim the camera, a video switcher, audio mixer, tape recorder, inside camera, transmitter mics, and a new sophisticated camera and controls. Now the helicopter controls are over on my side and they need the priority of my attention. Now after 10 years of flying the helicopter, talking on television is the easiest part of my job. How do I press all those buttons and knobs, listen to 3 things in my headset and fly? Easy, but you gotta fly left-handed. Now the new camera makes the job safer and provides better pictures. I can either fly higher or further away from storms and other events, which keeps me safer, especially during tornadoes. Even though the new camera makes you think I am closer than it appears. Now there are many parts to the electronic news gathering system all over the helicopter. It's like a permanent passenger that weighs 175 pounds. Now the combination of a better camera and 9 years of experience, we provide you the best weather coverage in the area. And it's great for viewers that feel like they're flying with me in the Newscopter. I feel privileged to be providing helicopter news coverage to eastern Iowa. Now, most communities our size do not have an aerial news program. Because of KCRG-TV9's local ownership and commitment to the area, we can cover news and weather in the best way for eastern Iowa. It's been 10 years since Newscopter 9 took off, and we keep improving.
Now, it's been 5 days since we've had the blizzard on Friday, and driving conditions are still very, very severe.
Weather coverage is a big part of Newscopter 9's job and a good way to let you see how we have improved and what goes on behind the scenes. A winter storm stops travel on the ground, but Newscopter flies above it. Even TV9's Dave Franzman was blocked by a snowdrift in the blizzard of 1996.
Well, I don't think I'm going to make it any further than where I was stuck right here.
Newscopter shows you just how bad driving conditions can be and helps you plan your winter travel when a major snowstorm hits. The flooding of 1997 and 1999 were important weather events we brought you live from the air. We showed you the widespread damage from Littleport to the Mississippi. And when the hot and dry weather produced field fires in eastern Iowa, Newscopter 9 can move quickly to capture the rising smoke from miles away. And when it's windy, viewers can see where and how fast a wildfire will move. Tornadoes are the hardest weather to cover with the Newscopter. The damage is easy to find, but not the tornado. KCRG-TV9 has pioneered the capture of live tornadic activity from the air. The first alert storm team sends me where they think a tornado is likely, and I watch the skies. That's how we captured the 1998 Washington tornado.
Rain shield like that where you can't see it.
Exactly. Oh, he sees it. He sees it right now. Bobby Ratliff sees the tornado. Bobby, take it away.
Okay, I'm going to show you. Right here it is. It's on the ground. Let's say it's approximately 3 or 4 miles northwest of Lone Tree, where I am. Watching for tornadoes is an important part of our weather coverage because the storms move quickly and can be highly destructive. Not to mention, to capture one, you need to be there before it forms.
There's a wider shot, Denny, coming back. You can see that it's contrasted better. Let's go a little tighter.
An average tornado's lifespan is only about 15 minutes, but the video we capture from the air while chasing tornadoes allows us to see and understand the thunderstorms and wind better. Now, the advantage is I fly about 3 times faster than the thunderstorms move, and I can go any direction I need to. However, my job can be dangerous, especially because of the power of a tornado. While gathering news, I must remember how fragile the helicopter is when compared to a powerful storm. Our coverage of tornadoes have also helped the National Weather Service keep historic records of storms. For example, video from Newscopter 9 helped that organization classify a tornado that hit Benton in 2003. Big weather events are easy to remember as important parts of Newscopter 9's history, but we've also done a few other unique things during the 10 years Newscopter has been a part of KCRG-TV9 News. Now, a good example of that is the live interview of Iowa's Governor Tom Vilsack while he was a passenger in Newscopter 9. Now, that occurred 500 feet in the air over the destruction of the Dunkerton tornado that occurred in May of 1999. Now, Vilsack said the tour from the sky gave him a completely different view that helped the state meet the needs of the tornado's victims.
Governor, I know you just took off. How much have you been able to see so far?
Scott, we've taken a ground tour and now we're taking an air tour of the damage out in the rural areas surrounding Dunkerton. It's absolutely phenomenal, the strength and power of these storms and the devastation that they can affect on people.
KCRG-TV9's local ownership offers a unique opportunity to operate Newscopter 9 independently. Now, most TV stations actually don't own their helicopter. We do. We design and install the helicopter's camera and transmission systems ourselves and had the Federal Aviation Administration approve it. Now, we create and build everything this program needs. Now, that creativity and innovation is what keeps us providing you great coverage. Now, all those new ideas have allowed us to improve the way helicopters are used in providing news and weather coverage.
Welcome back. Better weather technology, forecasting the paths of big storms, and even the use of Newscopter 9 makes TV9 weather a key part of eastern Iowa. But the people you see every day delivering the forecast are important too, and Denny Frary has been a fabric of this station. In fact, I've enjoyed greatly working with Denny for the past 13-plus years. He really has pioneered weather broadcasting here in eastern Iowa.
That's right, and there is never a dull moment in the weather lab working with Denny. Now, I personally enjoy his style of weather presentation, and I hope that a little bit of it rubs off on me.
It has been fun working with Denny for the short time I've known him. We talked to Denny about his time here at KCRG-TV9 and to the viewers that have supported him along the way.
We have a teletype hookup with the weather wire from the National Weather Service offices. And from it,
This familiar face has brought you the weather on KCRG-TV9 for nearly 30 years. Denny Frary started at the station in November of 1974.
Number one, I like the people. I like the people who work here. I like the people of eastern Iowa. And that's number one. And then also, I think I'm working for a station that's home-owned, and that's been something I've always been grateful for.
However, viewers are grateful for Denny's weather forecasts because they're both accurate and entertaining.
He's got a good sense of humor. He makes it interesting to watch.
It's kind of funny every day, kind of, so yeah. He's got a smile on his face every day.
Not only does Denny make viewers smile, but his coworkers also say he's fun to work with.
He tells jokes one after the other, never forgets a joke, and they're always fresh. And one reason they're fresh is because I forget them from one day to the next. So he can tell me the same joke, and I'm still laughing.
Besides making the newsroom laugh, Denny has seen a lot of changes since he first started in 1974. He also worked on other shows at KCRG-TV9, like a talk show called Good Morning Eastern Iowa.
We did cooking segments, and whenever a VIP came into town, a politician or somebody from show business, we got them on the air.
Technology quickly became a focus in the weather department, and the typical weathercast changed.
It's been fun to see the technology change, and that's been a real inspiration to come into work every day, because you never know what new thing we have available to us.
But it's not just the technology that's changed. Denny's changed as well. Maybe not in personality, but a bit in looks.
I remember him when he had dark hair and kind of wavy when he first started with the station. He's been there now, what, 30 years?
After nearly 30 years at KCRG-TV9, Denny says he treasures his experiences and the friends he's made along the way.
Thanks for joining us for KCRG-TV9, 50 years of weather.
We've enjoyed looking back at some of the changes in technology, revisiting big weather events, and remembering the faces at KCRG-TV9.
We hope you'll continue to help us celebrate throughout the coming year.
And we look forward to seeing what the future holds for us at your 24-hour news and weather source, KCRG-TV9.
Congratulations, KCRG, on being locally owned and operated for 50 years.
Congratulations, KCRG-TV9, on your 50th anniversary.
Congratulations, KCRG-TV9, on your 50th anniversary.
Congratulations, KCRG, on being locally owned and operated for 50 years.
Congratulations, KCRG-TV9, on your 50th anniversary.
My wife Judy and I and all the people from Oskaloosa, I would like to congratulate KCRG-TV9 on your 50th anniversary.
The studios at KCRG-TV9 have been the backdrop for commercials, several news sets, and of course weather. But when we first moved to the station, we needed to show off our studio space, so I took viewers on a tour, and we thought you might enjoy a little tour also.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telecenter. This is our production studio. Let's take a look around. It's a big place. The studio is 40 feet wide and 70 feet long, and this white sight curtain is 15 feet high and 144 feet long. This is the lighting grid. It's 16 feet off the studio floor, and it has the very latest in Kliegel lighting equipment, and it's all controlled by the dimmer control board right over there. Let's take a look at it. This is a Kliegel two-scene preset SCR board. It's got 18 dimmers, and each of them can handle 12,000 watts. Watch this. Slick, huh? Here in Telecenter, we've got 3 General Electric 350 color studio cameras. Now, we can only show you 2 of them here because the third one's out there. It's shooting us right now. See, well, you know what I'm talking about. I tell you what, folks, we've seen a lot of stuff down here, but this is really only the half of it. The other half is all upstairs. Now, we're a little bit pressed for time, so instead of taking the elevator, we're going to use a little bit of TV magic, like this. This room is just chock full of goodies. We have a full complement of tape and film machines, 4 quad-color videotape machines from RCA with electronic editing, and also an important piece of equipment is the tape edit programmer, allowing us to do 3 very important things: frame-by-frame editing, tape edit rehearsal, and edit placement adjustment. As a matter of fact, it's this machine that's responsible for the program we're doing. Thank you, machine. And thank you, Ron. We'll go look at the film change now. This is an RCA TP66 color film projector. We've got 4 of them, and all 4 are equipped with PicClear, a pre-gate cleaner, to make sure your film is just as clean as it can be when it goes on tape. This is the production control room, and here's one of the most amazing pieces of equipment known to the TV world. Central Dynamics 1270 production switcher. It's capable of doing just about anything the mind can imagine. It's a triple re-entry cascading effects switcher with dual encoded chroma key and dual background matte generators, hard and soft wipes with modulation and positioners, and has black and white offset and full key border generators. And one of the handiest gadgets in town, a quad split generator. Well, now you've had a look at our facilities, but you're probably more concerned as to what we can do with those facilities. So let's take time out now and look at some of the work we've done here at Telesat.